What's up, No Load Time? Joel here. I am just jumping in to do a quick video. Going to talk about the Star Wars news that dropped today about Simon Kinberg coming in to produce a new trilogy with Lucasfilm for continue on, essentially, or potentially, the Skywalker saga. Really quick housekeeping, no new episode this week. We have just taken things slow right now, a lot of stuff going on, so we will be back hopefully next week with a full new episode. But I just still thought I would jump in, give you guys a little fun little content. It's Star Wars, I love talking about that. And it's some potentially big news. So if you haven't seen it yet, Deadline came out with a report today saying that they are hearing that Simon Kinberg has been brought on to produce the next trilogy of Star Wars films. Obviously, we've heard this for a while now. There's going to be new Star Wars films. There's going to be a trilogy with Rian Johnson. There's going to be a trilogy with whoever, whatever. But this one's coming from Deadline. It's quite reputable. It's interesting. And I think what makes it even more fascinating is that there are sources and there's conflicting sources according to their investigation to get this story from Deadline saying there is one particular source saying this is going to be continuing on the Skywalker saga from what they began in 1977 with A New Hope. This is going to be the continuation of that, obviously the last one being The Rise of Skywalker. And so this would be like 10, 11, 12, basically, would be the next trilogy of films. But then there's also the report in the exact same article saying that other sources completely disputing that and saying, no, this is not connected to that at all. In fact, this is actually connected to the James Mangold timeline, and it's going to be building off of his film, and that's going to be a trilogy connected to that. Let's go over, first of all, Simon Kinberg, and then break into what I think the top possibilities are. Simon Kinberg, most people at first glance that are familiar with his work are going to say, oh my goodness, this is the guy that worked on Star Wars Rebels. This guy's worked on Logan. This guy's worked on, The Martian. He's worked on reputable, large IPs and already with Star Wars as well. This should be big news. To me, I am cautiously optimistic. This is also the same person that has only ever directed three films. All of them stinkers, at least box office and critically. You can have your opinions on them, how you feel about them, but specifically, he did direct X-Men Dark Phoenix. I think it was also the 355. I want to say it was the name of the other film, and there was another one too, Pyro or something like that. You can look it up on IMDb. But the one that sticks out to me is the X-Men Dark Phoenix, Sophie Turner-led film, which was forgettable. Most people don't talk about it, and that's for the obvious reasons, because that was kind of the one that deaded a lot of the momentum that X-Men was having with its resurgence from X-Men Days of Future Past. So, yeah, I'm not saying that by any means he's not capable of working on a project. What I'm trying to tell you is the things that you do like that his name's been attached to, he's always been the producer on it. So, like, for example, when you look at, Rebels, or you look at Logan, or you look at The Martian, or you look at some of these other films, he's only ever been the producer on those, and those tend to do very good. In fact, he was the executive producer on Deadpool and Wolverine, so obviously continuing that relationship with Disney, very, very well, and obviously brought huge success with that franchise. He was the producer credit for both the first and second Deadpools, but executive producer, which is a pretty high level, obviously, for Deadpool and Wolverine. Continue on with that, talking about what do I think, about, is this going to be a continuation of the Skywalker saga? Is this going to be connected to the James Mangold kind of Origins of the Force film that supposedly he's been working on? I say supposedly because, yes, it was announced at Celebration, but there's been a lot of things that have been announced that have been killed. Looking at you, Patty Jenkins, with the Star Wars project that unfortunately seems to not be going off the air. I think it's hard for me to say for sure which one I think it is. I am of the mindset that I can see them going back and trying to continue on with either direction, but I can see them trying to continue on with the Skywalker saga. It's been years since we've had a Star Wars film in theaters. The last one came out in 2019. You're looking at 5 years. The next project looking to come out in theaters for Star Wars is The Mandalorian and Grogu, and that's 2026. I want to say they supposedly just finished wrapped filming that one. So you're looking at 7 years of a hiatus before we've actually had another Star Wars project in theaters. We've had plenty of Star Wars projects on television, but not in theaters. Um, it would make sense if you're Disney and you have a hot IP like Star Wars. Why not go ahead and just say, let's just go ahead and put a new trilogy and continue this on and start from now, which means that, maybe that's this trilogy is worked on now, and then you're looking at like 2027, 2028, maybe even 2029 before these things actually start hitting the ground. I don't know, but I could easily see them going that route from a financial standpoint. Now, if you want to just play a game of guesses and try and put 1 + 1 = 2, which is not always the case how this industry works, but if you want to play that game, I'm looking at the fact that James Mangold obviously did Logan, and then you look at Simon Kinberg working on Logan, very connected to the X-Men franchise. We just talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. Why would it not be the case that he would be looking at this and saying, I can look at what James Mangold's doing and then build off of that and produce a trilogy that's connected to the origins of the Force, new timeline, something that we've not seen before, what the Acolyte tried to do, but even further beyond that, way past that. You're not even connected to Old Republic at that point. You are really going into the deep foundation of Star Wars that's never been touched. Not even George himself has gone to that point. I believe that's a very strong possibility. In fact, I believe it's more likely that he's building off of the James Mangold and making a trilogy based on the origins of the Force than it is them doing parts 10, 11, 12. But when you say financially, like I just went over, it's been years. If you're going to do another trilogy, you need to start working on that from now. That continues the Skywalker saga. That's why I can't write it out. I can't write out that idea. But in my personal opinion, me just saying 1 + 1 = 2, which is, again, not how this industry always works. Just because it makes sense doesn't make it true. A lot of fans like to believe it just because it makes sense to them. This is us just speculating, fun commentary. I think that it's probably, the connection to the James Mangold project. They probably have faith in that project. They're probably saying, let's bring Simon in. He knows how to handle big intellectual properties like this and continue stories that make really well. Again, producing. So far, not directing, not writing, but if he's producing, he'll start working and bringing in that talent. He'll start bringing in his connections to the industry to make this project go live, and I think that's the direction that they're going. So, again, all speculation, fun stuff. Always great when Star Wars is in the news. We want more Star Wars projects. I want Star Wars films, but I want them to be good. It's been a lot of tough ones recently, so let's make sure we get some good projects out there, and I will be cautiously optimistic, mixed feelings about it. Maybe we'll talk about this more with Obed next week. So I just thought I would just jump on here in case more develops. But yeah, early reaction to today's Deadline article. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick breakdown. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, follow us on social media @NoLoadTime. More stuff to come. See you guys next time.